Grand day, amazing souls. How are you feeling? Look, happy 12/12. It feels amazing out here. I'm not used to this. Like, I'm really showing off at this point, okay? So, today's transmission, we're going to speak about credit and debt. So, are you accruing credit or are you accruing debt, right? And so, I'm not talking about financial credit and debt. I'm talking about spiritual credit and debt. Yeah, most of y'all know what that is, that karma and that dharma credit. Well, karma is nothing more but our actions. Okay? Dharma is what we receive over from those good actions that we put out in the universe. And that's just to my understanding. If y'all have a different take on it, please put it in the comments below and share your definition. Okay? So, as I do numerology charts, there are many charts that I've seen that has karmic debts associated with their energy. And you may be able to see this in astrology. So let's jump right on into it. Ways that we can accrue debt and ways that we can accrue credit, right? So I'm about to list some ways that we can accrue debts. Now, most of you definitely heard of this first one. It's a surefire way to accrue debt. And before I even jump into the ways to accrue debt and credit, our choices, right, land us into families, bloodlines that help us accrue a credit or clear this karmic debt. A lot of us are like, why am I in this bloodline? Why do I have this family? Well, you chose that family to help you clear that debt. Some of their experiences that they have to teach will lead you to clearing that debt. Believe it or not, and it may sound strange, however, it is what it is, right? So, some of the ways that you can accrue debt: one, stepping outside of your commitments, your marriage, your union. And when I say commitments, it doesn't just mean your marriage or your union, it can mean many things. You signed up to take care of a dog, and you said, I don't want this damn dog no more. Keep on pooping all over my daggone furniture. You then gave up your whole karmic credit because you didn't want to commit. Or um, say that you committed to um, eating better, or you committed to being a daycare provider. And because it was getting too hard for you, you didn't like the way things were panning out, you just up and quit. And you teaching those children, you eating better, is a way to show that, hey, we can do this. This is a great way to go. But you changed your lifestyle and you changed what you were doing, and people are looking at you like, wait a minute, hold, what's going on now? Right? So that's one way, not standing with your commitments. Number two, leading people in a lost space, basically false leaders. Around the world, you can see um, a lot of false leaders are being exposed. It could be in religion, it could be in the government, it could be in the communities. It is what it is. This is a way to gain karmic debt. A lot of people don't understand that. But oh, it will come to pass, right? Number three, a misuse of creative energy. I'm going to give you an example. You're taught, well, you have the gift of building. However, you choose to tear things down with that energy instead of building things with it, building things up. And that is a misuse of creative energy. at its max. If you knew the creative force within you, oh man, talking to my 22s out there. But we want to move along here. Number 4, an artistic talent, right? Turn superficial. And I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that. You were given specific instructions to use your talent to uplift humanity. Instead, and this could be like a rapper. Let's use a rapper for an example. This rapper chose to talk about destructive things, right? Signing a contract that says you cannot uplift, you cannot speak about things that can heal people, that will help them to grow, to learn, to expand. Instead, you ran after something else, and now your artistic flow is stifled. Okay, so that's one way to accrue a karmic debt. We must speak our truth. Now, y'all, don't think I'm coming down on anyone in particular, because I'm not, because I am a part of this. This next one, it pertains to me, right? And when I was writing this, I was like, wow, just really taking accountability, right? So, misaligned work energy. And this is especially for those who will be called lazy, who don't have any drive, who don't have any will to get up and do anything. 639, right? That energy is just really scattered. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They have no clue of the gifts that they inherited, right? And so this energy, this isn't to say that those who are lazy, right? But those who never do anything with the energy just remain in a lackadaisical space, a clueless space, right? So I'm gonna give you all another example because I know that was a lot of heads are gonna roll with that one. But someone who has their own business, right, but decides to underpay individuals to do their jobs, or a business owner who parties with the money instead of paying the employees who've worked hard for this money. That's a form of slavery. Of course, you're accumulating karmic debt. Okay? So we're going to move on to number 5. Those who abandon their families, their children, their wife. That is a surefire karmic debt. A lot of individuals, now let me say this, there are some reasons why some had to abandon ship, right? Toxicity. Don't care what they did, it just wouldn't work out well, right? So there are a few cases where the universe or they will judge themselves accordingly, right? Some people know that they really did nothing wrong and there's no way that things can be changed, right? So it's on a a case by case basis there. And not everyone that I'm speaking about will accumulate debt from these situations. Depends on how they were accumulated. Last but not least, the last debt that I'm going to speak about is those who have spiritual powers. Now, we're in a time, a place, and a space where a lot of the collective are inheriting these spiritual gifts, right? And a surefire way of getting spiritual debt, of collecting spiritual debt, is to inherit these powers, but not use the gift to serve others, but for personal gain. Now, a great example for this is men and women alike, but I've definitely witnessed the men doing it. They will use their particular gifts to get women. And I've seen this over and over and over, and I'm just like, wow. Like they will actually use their gift, like the touching. Some of them are able to access the mind. Some of them are able to read really, really well, right? Just tuned in and tapped in and turned on, even though they're not just tuned in and tapped in, right? So This is a surefire way to gain debts. And to be, truth be told, I think this particular thing has been in the bloodline for a while, especially with these individuals, right? So now that we talked about a few ways to accumulate debt, let's talk about a few ways to accumulate credit, right? One of the ways, one is fostering or adopting. You know how I'm not even going to say it, but adopting a pet, you know, adopting a child, that is a huge responsibility. And we accumulate credit by doing these things because guess what? It's just like a child with a pet anyway. They need a place to stay. They need someone to love them. They need someone to nurture them. They need a place to say, this is home. I feel comfortable here, right? And I don't mean those, and you actually have those who foster for just the money and care nothing about the children. And like I said, it's on a basis to basis with each case, right? Case by case. Not all of them. Just because you're in it for the money, it could really give you the will to do something much, much better. But I've seen some, I was in the foster care system, and I've seen some who just didn't truly care, you know. But whatever. Number two, a way to accrue credit, feeding the homeless and feeding the animals. You see a lot of people doing that. Even opening up shelters, that's a way of accruing credit. And a lot of these entities, they know this. That's why they do it. Even though they do messed up stuff, they're still balancing it with some credits. But who am I to judge? You know. Number three, teaching. Teachers. Oh my gosh. I think teachers, if we could talk about any profession, teachers are the most underpaid. And guess why? Because they have the biggest credits in the spiritual realm. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, yes, yes. So kudos to our teachers who are underpaid and overworked. Y'all are going to get your due service. Just hold on. Number four, nurses and those who nurture. Because a lot of people want to say, oh, I want to be a doctor and da 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 da. But the nurses are the ones who do the work. One, two, three, four. They have to do all the steps for the doctor to come in and say, hey, I'm going to write you a prescription. They got to nurture. They got to run after your every need, right? They do all the work. They get paid pretty well, but they still don't get as much as doctors. And I love my nurses because y'all are the nurturers. And when I say nurses and nurturing, the moms or the dads who nurture, there is a huge karmic credit in that. When you're able to nurture a child, oh gosh, God is watching you. Kudos to you. Number five, healing the bloodline. Yes, there is a karmic credit in building the bloodline. You know, a lot of us don't remember why we came into this incarnation. However, a lot of us are here to heal the bloodlines, especially those who have done the work with the family and say, you know what? I'm out of here. I don't want nothing to do with y'all family. Y'all cuckoo. Y'all crazy. And it ain't for Cocoa Puffs. So I'm going to distance myself and detach from this. And that is how you know you are healing the bloodline. One of the ways, anyway. Number six, healing others and yourself. Now, you know, we have a world full of healers, energetic healers, Reiki healers, back to the nurses, those who heal with herbs, those who just any kind of healing that you can think about, whether it's counseling. These are karmic credits. If you're out there and you're using your gifts, especially using your gifts to help aid and assist others, that is a karmic credit. You're using those gifts for good. Okay. Number seven, just being kind. You have so many people that want to hate and be rude and cruel to others, but being kind has its justice. Just being loving and kind is a karmic credit, especially in these days and time, because you could fall to the same victimhood of everyone else and treat everybody like everybody else treat. No. And you can also be kind and loving and compassionate and patient and truthful. Huge, huge, huge karmic credit. So those of you who are out there spreading the love, keep it up. You are getting a credit for it. Okay. Number 8, forgiveness. Forgiving yourself and forgiving others. And let me tell you why. When you forgive yourself and forgive others, it lifts a weight off of your heart. And remember, the heart is connected to all. So when you're lifting the vibration of the heart center, ho ho ho, the universe loves that. That is all love to them. So remember that when you're forgiving yourself and forgiving others, the universe sees you. You are loved. Number 9, last but not least, sacrifice. I don't care for this word. However, y'all all understand it. Now, when I say sacrifice, I'm talking about there are those who have put their lives on the line for a person they don't even know. That's a karmic credit. Ooh, that gave my whole body chills because I've seen certain instances where I'm just like, whoa, that is pure love. That is the oneness within this individual. You don't care who this person was. A person could have been nasty and mean to them. And yet and still, they found it in their heart to still sacrifice their life for another. Right? Another example. You know how they have this saying going around, repaying in kind? Yeah, that's like sacrificing, especially when you don't have or when you was going to do something with that, but you chose to be given, to be loving, to be kind, seeing that someone else is without, and you say, you know what, I'd rather be without. It's okay. If I need it, the universe will provide it. Right? So being sacrificing your happiness, not even your happiness, sacrificing your nouns, your people, places, and things for others, that is a karmic credit. And with that being said, I affirm that you enjoyed this, you received something from it, and if it's someone that needs to hear this message, send it to them. Like, share, subscribe, hit the like button. Check out my bio link in the description box below. And if you haven't heard it today, I love you. Accrue some karmic credit. Peace.